And welcome to episode 3, as they say in Star Wars terminology, of the Nerd-Eye Council. I am Darth Payne, at least for now. To my right is Darth Nate Dog. We got Wreck-It Ralph over in the corner, and we have a special guest today, my 13-year-old son, Darth Finn. Welcome to the table, Darth Finn.
So what's it like to be Jedi, guys?
Awesome. I'm not a Jedi, I'm a Darth.
Well, at least I'm a Disney movie.
We're in the same category, yeah, Disney.
True. I hate you, Mom and Dad. Thank you for the name.
So today's episode is just going to be a Spitfire episode. We're just going to be talking about a bunch of just random topics.
Anything goes.
Whatever we feel like talking about, we're going to talk about. And that's what makes us unique. We just talk about whatever.
Everybody on the other end is like, that's what you guys do every week.
That's what you do every week, you idiots. This week, you're just naming yourselves. Alright, so. Old Man Logan.
Yes.
Trailer.
Impressions.
Old Man Logan trailer. Logan trailer.
Logan, because it's not the Old Man Logan story.
It's politically correct to say old man.
There's a lot of talk about they're going to kill him off.
See, I can't see
What do you do with Wolverine? Wolverine is exactly like, in my eyes, exactly like Iron Man. It's a situation that I don't know if anyone else can play Wolverine, and our brains accept it. You know.
Well, the rumor is that X-23 is going to be the successor to the Wolverine.
And they're not going to replace Wolverine?
No.
But that was like when they said they're going to throw in like a female Thor. Didn't they say that at one point?
I think I heard that at one point.
Like an actual Thor?
Well, there was. There
like
in the comics.
In the comics, there actually is a lady Thor, which is.
What's her name?
What's her name?
I'm very not well versed in the Marvel universe.
I'm not either, but.
Well, I agree with you about that. I think a lot of other people do too. That you can't really see Wolverine being.
I didn't pay him to agree with me, by the way. Go ahead, sorry, son.
You can't really see Wolverine being played as anybody else, and like, for example, my grandma, she loves that Wolverine series just because.
Oh yeah, she does. She's in love with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
that's her man. Yeah.
So I don't think she'd really watch those movies anymore if he wasn't played.
It's fan base by Hugh Jackman, man.
Does Grandma X does Grandma X know about the Logan movie?
I don't think so.
She's a little out of the pop culture loop.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I was actually having a conversation today with Wreck-It Ralph's mom about Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Because that's Ralph's.
With Tony Stark?
That's Ralph's mom's favorite. You didn't even know, did you?
Iron Man?
Yeah.
She likes Iron Man?
She said, I don't really care for superheroes except him. And she was pointing at the Civil War.
She just likes Robert Downey Jr.
Him, and she made the little googly eyes. I'm
wow.
I'm like, oh yeah, he's your favorite? She's like, yeah, he's dreamy. But I said, yeah, I don't know. I said, I don't know how they'll ever replace him.
Well, that changes a bunch.
Ralph's like, I really thought she was a Batman guy.
I thought she was a Batman person, but
So yeah, I don't know. I can't really see. I don't know. I can't see the X-Men moving forward without
Hugh Jackman,
without a Wolverine. I mean,
they have been. I think that's what they're doing. They have been with these newer movies.
I have not seen X-Men Apocalypse.
Apocalypse was good.
Talk
it was
amongst
good.
yourselves. Yeah, I know you told me you liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, they got First Class, Apocalypse, and what's the other one? Is there only two? Or
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future
My
Past.
favorite, Days of Future Past.
Yeah, and Wolverine is... Yeah, he's not a big character in really any of them besides Days of Future Past.
Right.
I think that's what they're doing, is trying to wing him out. with these younger group of kids that are playing them. Like, the new Jean Grey is obviously not a 40-year-old, you know.
Right. Funny that Nate and I were watching this video about Logan today, about the movie that's coming up, and the story Old Man Logan is set in the apocalyptic near future, is what the comic book is set. And they were saying in this video today that it's actually only one. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Logan movie takes place 1 year after Logan wakes up from the Days of Futures Past. When he wakes up and he's fixed the movie people fixed the timeline from the screw up on Last Stand and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was
where Jean's
stupid.
alive.
Yeah,
and and all
But
this stuff.
it sounds like they're screwing the timeline up again now.
But something happens. So he waits. So this takes place a year after he's fixed the timeline. So something happens between when he wakes up and when this movie takes place. Some super mutant virus or something that wipes out the mutant population.
Stryker. That's the guy that is supposedly made Wolverine, right? Gave him the powers and everything, right?
Well,
Stryker.
Mr. Sinister is supposed to be in this movie.
They talked about that. In the
Which
video
would be
too.
right up his alley, since he's a fanatic when it comes to mutant genetics and everything.
I was watching X-Men 1 and 2 last night on TV, and I think they're great movies.
Back to back.
Back to back. It was great, dude. I mean, like having
the
like
third one is where they derailed.
yeah. I mean it. I know it's going for the fans, teenagers, but you know, I think it's cool seeing like the X-Men, not X-teens. Yeah,
Right.
no offense, but I'm just saying. I think it's pretty cool how they had what the heck's his name, Wolverine and Cyclops and all them. They all look like adults other than high schoolers, and I don't know.
I was watching the, I don't know if it was the first one or the second one on TV like a year ago. It was the one where that guy, Magneto, makes him a mutant. He's just like, you know the one I'm talking about?
Is it the first one? Where
I think it's the first one, right?
He connects Magneto, that touches the machine, activates the machine using his genetic code to turn all the humans into mutants or whatever, but it kind of doesn't work. He ends up kind of basically disintegrating.
There's this one guy,
Senator Kelly.
Yes. And he turns him into a mutant. I'm trying to think, what was his weird mutant power? Like he could
super flexible,
kind of like
something.
Oh yeah, I
you know what I'm
remember
talking
that
about
one.
now?
Yeah, he like kind of stretches out and
He's like,
it's like
Then he disintegrated into water for some reason.
yeah, it's such a.
yeah.
Oh, that was the first one.
Was that the first one?
That was
Yeah.
the first one. Is that the guy who had the son as the angel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he like kind of rejected him for that.
Yeah.
So years later, is it X3? X-Men 3 that his son is in it?
No, his son's not in it until Apocalypse. But see, that's
No.
No, Angel is.
Yeah,
You
but
see Angel because he's going to get that treatment and he breaks
Oh,
out
that's
and he
right.
flies
That's
away.
right. Yep.
yeah.
And then when we see him again is in Apocalypse when he becomes Archangel.
Which is totally messing up the timeline again, kind of, with his character. I don't know.
I don't think, unfortunately, because as a fan, this is a problem for me, but I don't think Fox or whoever's in charge of X-Men cares about the timeline.
Yeah, they're just winging it. I mean, they made it where Wolverine was born like in the 1700s and just lived and fought every war and just, I don't know if that's how it is in the comics, if that's what they did or what, but I mean, I like the storyline of him and Sabretooth were brothers, and that was cool.
Yeah, it did give you at least some glimpse into why Wolverine and Sabretooth hated each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
worked out.
that relationship there.
But with the other characters like Halle Berry playing Storm and all these, I think Halle Berry hit it off perfect as Storm.
Yeah, I think
And
so
it's
too.
still weird seeing somebody else play Storm.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, and Jean Grey, you know, I know she went crazy and turned into the Phoenix and stuff, but the story is from X-Men, what was it, when Magneto and Professor X went to her house when she was a little kid, remember?
Right.
And that was a storyline there. And then this newer one is just like a totally different approach on it.
Yeah, it's from what I've seen, it still looks like that they're portraying Jean as like she's had the Phoenix Force all along.
Yeah.
You know, that's just been dormant inside her, which bothers me to no end, because the Phoenix Force is a cosmic entity that sought her out and took over her body and all this stuff, not this split personality that she has, and she has to control it all the time and all this stuff.
I like Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler was pretty sick. He was cool.
Yeah, Nightcrawler is a pretty badass character, actually.
I mean, his character, obviously, with the paint and stuff like that, he looked like if you watch the movies 1, 2, and 3, or the second one, you could definitely tell that is Nightcrawler. Like, with, you know, Mystique, you don't know who it is until she turns blue.
Right.
Yeah.
But, with that being said, I think that the girl playing Mystique is horrible.
You're talking about the Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. I don't really like her. I mean, I see Hunger Games. I see too much of crying, too much of baby. I don't know. That's just me.
You're more of the Rebecca Romaine.
Yes.
Mystique.
Yes, and that's, I don't know, maybe it's just because they look more like adults than little kids.
So what are you saying, Ralph? You got to think about kids?
No, I got to think for Rebecca Romaine.
Oh, you're taking shots out here?
Yeah, no offense to Darth Phineas over here, but I just think that the X-Men was X-Men, not X-Teens. Personally. But that's just me.
That's what the New Mutants are for, right?
I don't know.
Well,
they started with the first class, and they're moving their way up. And pretty soon it's just going to be the same cast on up. And then these guys that have played, like Halle Berry and the guy who played Cyclops are all old. So yeah, it is time for something fresh, but keep the storylines as close as possible.
Well, like the chick that was in Deadpool, who has the awesome name. What's her name? Anybody?
What, the kid?
Yeah.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead?
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Oh, Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Or as Deadpool calls her, Sinead.
Sinead O'Connor.
Right.
That's not her real name.
No, I know, but
That's what we were talking about.
That Colossus is
so
what
she's part of the...
I guess. I don't
what
really
do
know.
they call the teenage? It's not New Mutants, is it? They're talking about doing a TV show about... Fox was talking about doing a TV show of the younger... There's like the,
They are.
They are doing
If it's the same one I think you're talking about is Legion.
Is that what they're calling it?
It's based around Professor X's son.
What?
And I'm kind of reading the synopsis of this, and I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, because it looks like it all takes place at a psychiatric ward.
Well.
Really?
And none of the other characters I recognize at all. Where I'm looking at the cast list and everything.
But they're
None of the
saying
characters' names, I have no idea who they are.
Comes from a comic, or they're just creating this?
It's got to be some sort. There has to be some sort of source material to where
would
this
assume.
is coming from. But
There's a comic.
this whole thing looks like it takes place at a psychiatric ward, and there's no story that I can find. Why are they there? They don't say that they have mutant powers. They just say that they've got mental instability or something. You know, there's a commercial I saw last night where there's these two patients, I'm guessing, and they're staring at this guy who's drooling in this chair. and then it just says Legion.
So there's commercials out for it.
Yeah, there's commercials out for it. So I'm like,
imagine if in the X-Men world that they don't really have any powers.
It's
They're
just
all
all
mentally ill.
Oh god, that would
And Hugh Jackman's walking around like,
he's like act like he's stabbing people. He ain't doing nothing.
People at the
Cyclops is all like
staring at people through the door. Just don't look in my eyes. Don't look in my eyes. Steve could be a new mutant. I mean, this guy I know.
Magneto's just all like, what the hell's he doing in the white robe? Like, what is he doing? These guys they don't have no...
I'm levitating, of
I'm
course.
levitating.
well, that was one of the theories, kind of talking along those lines of Batman. It's like, what if Bruce Wayne, after the death of his parents, is like so mentally traumatized that he makes up Batman.
Sorry.
Ralph says I'm tapping out. I don't like this theory.
Batman is Batman. There is a penguin, and he is a bat. There is a Mr. Freeze.
Like, Harley Quinn is actually the psychiatrist. This, like, one of the guards is, Two-Face because he likes to flip coins and everything.
So there's...
The Riddler is some other inmate that just talks in non-coherent riddles and stuff like this.
The janitor or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's like, what if all of this is just made up in
That's
his
what I
mind?
think about The Walking Dead. And you guys watch The Walking Dead?
I have not
I was
watched
a
any
big
of The
fan.
Walking
I was a
Dead.
big fan the first 4 seasons.
I think this is all a dream in Rick's head. All of this, because he never woke up from his coma.
Speaking of Walking Dead, that comes on Sunday night.
Yep, Sunday night on
Season
AMC.
premiere.
Yeah.
Episode season 7.
I got Finn hooked on Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
And now I had Netflix then, and now I don't, and he does, and he gets to watch it now, and I don't. It's not fair. It's a very unfair world. But at least I've passed the torch on. You keep trying to tell me about what happens every week. No. One day I'm going to watch them all.
But that's what I think is going to happen. I think at the end of the season, it's all going to come out that Rick is in a coma. And everybody around him, like Herschel is the doctor, the old man, he's the doctor. And his daughter's the nurse. And, Glenn's like the pizza delivery guy who comes in every once in a while. That was his job before the apocalypse. He was a pizza delivery guy. And I just think and he's going to think that Shane left, or his wife left him for another man, because I think that's what it is. I think that's what's going to happen.
So it's like the Dallas scenario.
I was just thinking that too.
Yeah,
You're gonna wake up
For
and
all of our young listeners out there, there used to be this show called Dallas, which was like a nightly soap opera.
Dallas.
My mother watched it. Many mothers my mother's age watched it. Very popular show. Ran like 8-9 years. And at the very end, the season finale, or the show's finale, was that it was all a dream.
Yeah.
That everything was. Which I love that scenario. I think it's
really cool.
brilliant.
I think it's a cool way to do things.
I
do.
We were talking about Lost the other day. I
Right.
know. I'm not a fan either. I did watch the first couple seasons before I jumped ship because it got too crazy. But my ex, she's a huge Lost fan. And I jumped ship and I kept telling her, it's going to be just like Dallas. They're going to wake up. The main characters.
Sawyer? No.
No, the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Forgive me, I'm not a fan really, but anyways, Matthew Fox is the guy that plays the character.
Mm-hmm.
I kept saying at the very end, he's going to be on the plane, they're going to wake him up and go, would you like another drink, sir? And he's going to be, and then the plane's going to crash.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that have been a great way to end that series?
Well, that was
the plane starts, oh God, here we go, because that was the first episode, was them crashing.
That's what they wanted to do with Friends, the TV show Friends. They wanted to make Phoebe. Remember how her backstory was that she was homeless?
Phoebe was nuts.
Yeah, that she was nuts and she was homeless and everything like that. Well, they wanted to make it look like she was living outside of the cafe.
Oh, you told me this.
Yeah, she was living outside the cafe. And she
looking in the big picture window.
Yeah, looking in the picture window, making like a reference, like what if she was part of that life and stuff like that. And then like the 5 of them walk out and look at her and just keep on walking, not
That would've
knowing
been a great
she...
ending.
It would have been perfect,
Yeah.
dude. And she was just all... It was just all in Phoebe's mind.
I think they shy away from that stuff because of Dallas, because I don't remember, I was a kid, I was too young, but apparently a lot of people got really ticked off about the ending being...
All I know is JR got shot.
But it wasn't real.
No, it wasn't real. Remember the wedding singer when she was getting ready to go at the beginning? He's like, I forgot what the husband's name was. She's like, let's go, move your ass. He goes, hold on, I think JR got shot. You hear with the background. I love that movie. JR got shot.
So Darth Phineas, what would you like to talk about this week? You got anything on your mind?
No, just really been thinking a lot about The Walking Dead.
There you go.
What do you think about, did they reveal who died from last season?
No, but did you, I don't know if you saw it, the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the little sneak peek of the...
Who do you think gets it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking Abraham.
Abraham getting it?
I think so.
Yeah, I can see that. Because in the comics, Glenn got it.
Yeah.
Glenn got it in the comic books. I think it's either going to be Abraham or Glenn.
Yeah, I think it's possible Glenn, too, because they kind of all last season, they kind of were building up
To him dying.
Yeah.
Like when he got knocked out in that pit full of walkers and he survived. Or it could be Maggie, too, because a lot of times they use, like with him in the comic book dying, they can make it look like, you know, his wife died in the movie, in the show, so.
Yeah.
So what do you think of, now that we're on The Walking Dead, do you think Rick is turning into Shane? Like how Shane was in episode 2 and 1?
I'm thinking so, because, I don't know, he just seems to kind of lost what he had at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
He was kind of all about, you know, we're going to survive this and keep our humanity, you know? And I think a lot of that was Dale's death, because Dale, he really kind of held the group together in their humanity.
Rick's nuts.
See, if Shane lived through this, if Shane would have lived, none of this would have happened.
No, it could be true. I haven't watched any of The Walking Dead, but I have played The Walking Dead Telltale series.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
From the Xbox.
Yeah.
That is very good. Any of the Telltale games.
That's what that new Batman one is about, ain't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the new.
What is a Telltale game?
They're a company that make. How would be the best way to describe this? Kind of almost like a choose your adventure type of game, where the choices you make affect your progression in the game.
Right.
And the effects of the game is like you're playing a comic book.
Like Mass Effect.
Yeah, sort of.
Like a comic book?
Like it plays out, you know, like The Walking Dead, for instance. There's a part where you're in this like little compound and the walkers are attacking, and there's a kid over there, like kind of away from you, and you see a walker coming toward it. You know, and there'll be one where you have to shoot the walker in the head, you know, to protect the kid. If you don't get to the kid, you know, then, you know, the kid ends up dying and everything.
Yeah.
You know, but it's...
I think those kind of games are what makes video games probably the coolest, when you can pick your own destiny and pick your own path, other than, you know, like Gears of War was really good about, you know, doing like war games. You know, I think you should be able to pick and choose what you want to do in certain games.
I don't know if you guys ever played Mass Effect.
I have.
Yeah, I thought that series was one of the best.
That was cool.
Andromeda is coming out.
Yeah, Finn was telling me about it. But I could go real old school on you guys, since I'm the elder of the clan. I remember playing on the Macintosh. I don't remember what it was called.
Macintosh.
Yeah,
what is that? What is a Macintosh?
Played on an Apple.
Apples. Yeah, I remember those computers.
No, it was a Commodore 64.
It was a Commodore 64.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But it was a game, and I don't remember what it was called. And we were talking about this last podcast. Guys, whoever's listening to us out there, leave us comments, leave us suggestions, let us know how bad we suck. What you want to hear us talk about, anything and everything, just go ahead and leave a comment. We highly recommend it and we appreciate it. But if anyone knows the name of this game, let us know. It was just a black and white screen, and it would read everything, and it would always start off like, okay, you're in a forest. You remember this game?
I vaguely remember.
To your left is a castle. To your right is a river. And then you had to and then you started your journey like that every time.
Sound like a boring ass game.
You type
left or you type right, and then whichever one you choose, like, okay, you walk toward the river, and all of a sudden a piranha with legs jumps out.
Right.
Do you type run for run or type attack to attack?
Right.
It was like Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail?
You never heard of an Oregon Trail?
Not the game. I know about the actual Oregon Trail, but...
No, but what he's talking about is more of like the truer sense of the choose your own adventure, where they'll give you this scenario, then you choose whether you want to turn left or turn right, where you want to flip the light on or flip the light off, whether you want to go up or go down. And then based on your actions, the story adapts to what you choose.
It was a lot of fun, actually. I mean, we're talking pre-Nintendo days, post-Atari days, but as far as like a choose your own adventure type game, it was always interesting. Sometimes you'd choose the wrong path, and it would just like all of a sudden kill you.
Right.
Like, oh, an orc jumped out of the woods. You took a wrong turn, you're dead. No!
Take your 5-year-old self that played video games to 2016 and haven't played an Xbox One. My mind would be blown, dude. I'd be like...
Sometimes, though, man.
The graphics is...
Sometimes I wonder if they're actually that much more fun.
What do you mean?
I mean, I've played games when I was 6, 7 years old that were just a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I went back and played that game, I'd still have fun. I don't know. There's a lot of games nowadays that are mind-blowing. Graphics, like what they're doing with games is amazing.
There are games that were made 20 years ago that still hold up today. Like if you were to pop them in
007 GoldenEye for the 64.
GoldenEye.
For the 64.
Very good call. The game that pretty much launched the first-person shooter genre into a new age.
That was like our modern Call of Duty.
Yeah. I was at a friend's like a year or two ago, and I was playing Metroid. Holy cow. What a great game. I haven't played Metroid since I was 12.
I don't know. I think it's just because I'm spoiled, but I can never go back to playing the old system.
You say that now, man.
Yeah, you say that now.
How long has it been since you've actually played the old system? Since you were like a little kid? When's the last time you picked up a Nintendo Entertainment System?
God, I don't know.
Or were you a Sega guy?
No, I was Nintendo. Sega gave me like seizures and shit. Sonic was too much, dude. Man. It was too fast for me. My thumbs would be like,
Mom!
See, my cousins had the Sega Genesis, and like every time we'd go over, it was cool.
Yeah.
We were Nintendo kids, and we'd go to their house and play Sega. But man, it was like Coke Pepsi because they were always like, Nintendo sucks.
Yeah.
You guys don't have Street Fighter. Check out Street Fighter. And Street Fighter was cool, but
we got Street Fighter though for Super Nintendo.
The Super Nintendo.
I think my favorite Super Nintendo game that I could probably go back and play is, remember Claymates? You're playing that stupid little blue clay ball, and you had to go through like people's backyards, and you had to bounce on houses and shit.
Sounds like I vaguely remember.
And you could turn into like a dog, and then you could go around and just stupid shit. Or maybe I don't know.
It was fun, though.
It was fun. It was stupid, but it was fun.
See, I think what happens, I'm not knocking the systems nowadays, because it's fantastic what they're doing with games, for sure.
Remind me, I gotta tell you something. But go ahead.
But sometimes I think like the focus has shifted from what used to be like gameplay and like interaction with the game to where it's more like sometimes, man, I feel like the newer systems and stuff, you can just kind of like sit back and like it's more like
it does itself.
It's kind of like telling a story and you're playing kind of, but you don't have 100% control. I mean, dude, there's people probably going to listen to this and go, "You guys are nuts!"
All right, check it out. Like, when I was I was like 7 years old, and I had to pick. They're like, you can either get a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis or something like that. I forgot what it was, and I couldn't pick. It was like 2 weeks. I couldn't pick. And then we went to my buddy's house and with my mom, and he's playing Sonic, and the fucking Sonic's going all over the place, and the kid's bopping around and stuff, and she's like, "You're getting a Super Nintendo." She's like, "You see what this game did to this kid?" Like,
your mom?
She's like, "You're getting a Super
That is so
Nintendo
your
because
mom.
that kid is just like that little blue thing on TV."
Ralph,
right
I made your mind up for you.
so I was a Mario guy. I did that on Sonic, but she was like, "See why he is the way he is? It's because of that game right there, and I can't have you doing that in my house." So that's my choice. Super Nintendo was because
there's so many good games. Like I go all the way back to like my first system was the original Nintendo, and like the Game Boy.
Yeah,
you know, the
Duck
original
Hunt.
Game Boy. You know, with Duck Hunt and that smarmy little dog. You know,
Duck Hunt was awesome.
you know, and you had games like that, like Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3.
They also made a lot of bad games.
Oh,
though.
for sure.
Of course, and of course
Atari
the system.
with E.T.
Oh,
I
sweet
remember
Lord.
E.T. Atari.
That game is worth something because it sucked so bad. It's actually worth something. I seen a documentary on it.
Really?
Yeah.
About where they excavated it from the dump.
Yeah, and from Nevada or something like that. When they didn't really think because it was so bad. They just buried the games in the desert, dude. Just like
It could have been that bad. Everybody I knew that had an Atari owned E.T. Everybody.
it was bad.
Maybe it came with the Atari back in the day. I don't know.
Well, a lot of those games weren't even about like you're playing Back to the Future. Like I remember this one specific NES Back to the Future game. You're playing it, but it has nothing to do with going back in time or anything. You gotta like jump over trolls and stuff. It's like this ain't even Back to the Future.
They just threw
know?
the brand on there.
Yeah, that's all it was.
You
They
know,
just threw the logo of Back to the Future
I
on
think
there.
there's a Ghostbusters game. I want to say
That was horrible. I couldn't figure
the
this shit
Bill
out.
and Ted Excellent Adventure game.
I remember Bill and Ted.
And there was Home Alone.
Home Alone.
You're running through like Trump Tower and
I
shit,
don't
trying to find your mom. It was just like,
Do you guys remember playing Top Gun for the Nintendo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright,
Top
so
Gun was
Top
cool.
Gun was like, you get in your jet, take off, and like just destroy. It was like so easy you could with a blindfold, and so you had to land. Do you remember?
Yeah,
landing on the air
landing
cafe
was
was like
you could never land.
impossible. It was impossible. It was the hardest thing ever.
Yeah.
We used to, and you guys probably go, "Oh yeah, I remember." I've told my son about this, and he was like, "What?" Everybody's got like cheat codes and stuff in the back of magazines now. And stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the day, when Nintendo was big, before there were like gaming magazines, there was a 900 number,
Yep.
the hotline, the Nintendo hotline. Oh my god, we charged my grandparents so much money. I think we had our phone shut off for like 2 or 3 months because
Holy cow.
we had called the hotline so many times.
So wait, that's like
You
before
don't
my
remember?
time.
You don't-
No, because when I was playing, I can get the
Oh, it
magazines
was
off
genius.
the shelf.
It was genius.
What did you do? You like
Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Great game. Great game. Because you'd get to the next level, the next boxer, and every one of them had their own little, like, niche, little thing to beat them. That was the only way to beat them. And you beat the first couple, and then it got progressively harder. And you'd get to a point where you just stall out. Like, I can't beat this guy.
right?
Time to call the hotline.
So wait, you call a hotline, they can tell you how to beat them.
And, dude, they'd keep you on hold and stuff. There was, like, music, like, forever. And you're a little kid, you're like, whatever, I'm just gonna... I don't care, I'll wait forever to find out how to beat
Okay. So wait, so what happens then? They
And
tell
then
you
the
to hit.
operator would come on and you'd be like, "Hi, yeah, I'm on playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I can't get past the one guy. I can't remember the guy that was Indian.
Oh,
Remember his little
yeah,
gem?
the gem
and
would
his turban
shine before.
flashed, and that was when you had to punch him. And if you didn't see that little
Rising Tiger, I think, or something.
yeah, something tiger, you're right. And the operator would be like, what's going on? We're playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out. We can't get past Rising Tiger. How do you beat him? And I remember they'd like kind of laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is what you got to do. Are you listening? And we'd write it down and stuff. We were telling my uncle, my younger uncle, him and I gamed all the time. I was like, all right, write this down. My grandparents will walk by, see us on the phone. Who are you talking to? Nobody.
So what would they do then? They would just tell you like how to beat the game?
Yeah, and they were charging you like $5 a minute.
Dude, the 90s were so badass.
Yeah.
Dude, I could have made a fortune in the 90s.
Now somebody would sue the pants off.
Yeah, it's like,
Nintendo.
wait a second.
And that probably is what happened, actually, is Nintendo probably got sued by somebody.
Dude, Microsoft.
A $10,000 phone bill.
I think the only time I do call Microsoft is like, hey, what's going on with my account? Well, let's check into it. Dude, like a regular thing. But to call and figure out how to beat a game, that's like some...
That was before Game Informer, before the cheat code.
Before really the rise of the internet.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah. If there was an internet back then, I didn't know about it. But
yeah, the internet came along and like...
We didn't have a computer back then. We had a Nintendo.
Yeah.
In my house.
We had dial-up. Everybody had dial-up. And we had to make sure we put the screen protector on the freaking monitor. This freaking big. We had to put that giant tarp over the monitor. Remember those?
Yep.
They were clear. It's protect them from dust. God forbid you get dust. Not looking at it.
That seems crazy.
It's like a box tarp, right? And you just go flip it over and set it on top of your computer. It just sits there on top of your computer, collecting the dust that wasn't going into your monitor. Like it made sense then.
Oh my Lord, it's amazing how much technology has grown since then.
Yeah, computers, it's just mind-blowing. I reference this all the time. I'm a big movie buff, and anyone that's ever seen Civil War, what they did with making Robert Downey Jr. like 20 years old.
That was sweet.
Amazing.
That was sweet.
Amazing.
I remember that.
I mean, if you think back, it's hard to believe that the prequels were like 20 years ago. Like almost 20 years. That's hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that technology is like ancient already.
Yeah. Yeah, Star Wars prequels?
Yeah. I mean, what was going on back then, where George Lucas was way ahead of everybody
I think
else.
Episode 1 came out when I was like in 7th grade.
And now you see, if you go back and you watch the prequels, and you can tear any movie apart, really, any special effects that are 20 years old. But if you go back and you watch Attack of the Clones and Anakin is on this speeder bike, oh my god. Like, it's obviously a green screen behind him. He's like...
Yeah.
So corny looking.
I've been watching the original Star Trek series.
Why?
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
On TV.
I've seen it on TV.
Yeah, we watched it.
And I've been...
Like the original?
The original series.
With Captain
Kirk and Spock and all that stuff. And oh my god.
And strange.
And I've never...
Let's sit here for an hour and talk about it.
And I've never seen the original series. I've seen like Next Generation and all that stuff,
so
but I've
never.
So this is my first exposure to the original series. I'm like, okay, and I'm watching all this stuff, and it's so painfully obvious that when they go to an action scene, the guy that's supposed to be Kirk does not even look remotely close to him.
Right.
When the camera shoots back to the action scene, he looks like 20 years younger, and he's like flying around all this stuff. And then like the next scene, you see Shatner like this, and they fade back, and it's the younger guy again. It's just like.
That was like
the
Lethal Weapon movies when Mel Gibson was running and jumping from building to building. I'm like, Mom, can Mel Gibson do that? She goes, that guy smokes like 4 packs a day. He can't even run. He can't do that. And I was like, really? And then I stopped and zoomed on it. I'm like, that's not even Mel Gibson.
He has like short hair.
Yeah, he's got short hair and stuff. I'm like, that's not Mel Gibson. Now Danny Glover did get blown up on the toilet. We didn't need a stuntman for that.
But I mean... There's something to be said for people's imaginations that we just accepted it. Like, what now? Like, we watched the old Star Trek too because I have regular TV here, and you watch what you can when it's on. And Finn's watched it and said, "Wow!" And I think it's entertaining to him because it's so cheesy. Tell about the episode you were watching.
With the lizard dude? Oh, that was so good.
Oh, the Gorn?
Good. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you see that episode?
But is it the one where Kirk and this lizard are transported down on the planet and they have to
battle it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I just...
It's a battle to the death. So I only saw half the episode, which was more than enough. But something about Kirk got transported, whatever they call that, teletransported to this planet.
Beamed him down.
Yeah, he got beamed down to this planet, and on this planet, and so this, what's it called?
A Gorn.
A Gorn, which is essentially a man painted in lizard paint with a it's not even a mask, it's like a helmet of a lizard that has like a permagrin on it. Like it's permanently smiling. It doesn't blink.
See,
There's no Gorns don't blink apparently because this thing is just, and it made this noise like.
And it doesn't talk until toward the end of the episode. Give up, Kurt.
Yeah, his mouth didn't move or nothing. He started the same smile. He's like,
it's like those terrible Power Rangers.
It's
villains.
far worse than Power Rangers.
The original Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Well, the 1960s Batman. My 9-year-old watched it for the first time, and let's watch Batman. He's like, all right. We're watching it, and it's just so, like, cheesy, you know, like, they're all on a boat. I forgot which, I think it might have been the movie. They're on the boat, you know, and...
The shark repellent?
The shark repellent, yeah.
Like bat shark repellent.
He pulls out shark repellent and sprays it, and Ethan's like, I don't even want to watch it. He got pissed off about it and threw whatever he was like, I don't even care about this anymore. He got up and walked away. And I'm just
this is ridiculous.
Yeah, he legit got pissed off about it. He's like, I don't even care about this anymore. I'm like, dude, this is good. Watch. He's like, the Joker looks like a homeless guy. I'm like, dude, this is good.
Have you ever seen the Batman movie? They actually made back then.
The 1960s one. Yeah.
Oh, that's
my all-time favorite classic Batman scene.
Is that when he's running down the dock with the bomb?
The bomb scene!
The bomb.
Robin! And he's like, every time he tries to put the bomb somewhere, it keeps coming back to him.
And now they got memes about it. He's running up.
Yeah. And he literally looks at Robin at one point and he goes, some days, Robin, you just can't get rid of a bomb. Genius, man.
Or when they're climbing up a wall, you can totally tell that they're walking on the ground because the camera's angry. Like, how much more longer, Batman? We're almost to the top there, Robin.
Remember, they would have this long dialogue about whatever was going on in that episode. And remember, people would stick their head out and talk to it. Oh, hey, it's Batman and Robin. Carry on, ma'am.
I remember that was like the first movie. I watched that when I was pretty little. And that was like the first movie that I thought, wow, this is really bad. Especially, it hit me when the shark scene, where Batman's on the ladder.
Oh, yeah, the ladder.
Oh, yeah.
The shark latches onto him, the rubber shark.
Rubber shark.
And he's hanging from the rope ladder, just trying to kick the shark off of his boot. I do remember watching that with you and laughing.
Good lord.
Yeah, Conquer. Charger.
Storylines have come so far, you know, especially Batman, from where that was to basically the Ben Affleck Batman now. How much that character has changed.
Similar back to the 1960s Batman. I'm the one in the theater yelling, I don't even care about this anymore. I don't even care about
this. This is stupid. I'm done with it.
You're all stupid. Standing up and yelling at people.
You brought this upon yourselves.
But it is like Nate was saying, that they've come a long ways. Movies now, the bad guys are the good guys. I mean, Suicide Squad was pretty mind blowing in a lot of different ways. The interpretation of the Joker. I
don't
thought
know what they're doing with that thing.
I thought they'll never do a Joker more over the top than Heath Ledger, but yeah, they did.
What do you think of Suicide Squad, seeing how you're the younger generation?
Well, I actually haven't seen it yet, but I don't know, I feel like we're straying too far, like Darth Jeremy said.
Darth Payne, but you can call me Dad. It's cool.
Like you said, I think we're straying too far from the point of, heroes are heroes. You just, like Superman is a great example now. They made him just so dark and...
Yeah.
Superman wants to be Batman so bad.
He does, dude. He's at home and he's got his own little cowl.
Right.
Looks in the mirror, standing there.
Plays the 60s Batman theme song.
Superman!
Lois Lane, put this on. I'm not putting these green tights on. Put them on. Let's go, Robin.
No, I actually heard there's talk on a podcast I was listening to about Justice League 2 maybe being Justice League versus the Suicide Squad, and I said, what? Because how? It doesn't make any sense to me. There's no way the Justice League, the Suicide Squad couldn't hang with the Justice League.
For starters, they're getting too many fan favorite actors playing bad guys where you don't want to see that bad guy lose. Like Will Smith playing Deadshot. I don't know what Deadshot's backstory is. I don't know.
But maybe they'll eventually kill Deadshot so that Will Smith can go on and film Bad Boys 4 and 5 or something. When there's a scheduling conflict, since he's not able to do Independence Day 2, and they're like, okay, well, we'll just kill off your character.
Is that why he didn't do Independence Day 2?
And he couldn't do it because there was, like, a scheduling conflict, so he couldn't do that. And so they're like, we'll just kill your character off. That's it.
Did he die in the movie?
Yeah, it doesn't even show it. They just said, Captain Hillard died while flying a prototype aircraft or whatever, and and I think it was Brandon T. Jackson, I think, is the guy that plays his son.
Yeah.
It plays his son now, and he follows in his dad's footsteps, and he's in the Air Force and all this shit.
I was going to watch
whatever.
it, but I was like, you know what? It'll be all the same. You're going to find the heroes to save the kill the aliens.
Jeff Goldblum will upload another virus again for some reason. Man, these guys are stupid. Here's another virus for you.
Another 3-hour movie about it. I do have to say, though, like when, what the hell, Bill Pullman, the actor Bill, is that his name? Bill Pullman, that played the president? When he gave that Independence Day speech right before the takeoff, dude, I was like, I'd vote for that guy in a moment. That guy had a better speech than our own president.
He was like, where do I enlist?
Right.
I actually heard that was the worst movie of the year.
The second one?
Has anyone seen it?
No. I don't really.
Yeah, I saw Ghostbusters, but I didn't see Independence
We
Day.
can get into Ghostbusters in a minute.
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
If you're good, I'm good.
We don't need to get into it.
I actually hated Independence Day.
Wait, the first one?
I was one of the few.
Really?
Yeah, I was one of the few. I could not. My problem with that movie was the United States against aliens. I know it was a world coalition, but it was such a grab at patriotism, at us against the aliens. I was like, I'm not on board with this. Even in I was a teenager at the time or something, but I was like one of the few.
Theaters.
It was a good popcorn flick.
You know what
it was a good action flick, but I heard this one was so bad that it's hard to sit through.
Yeah. If you kill off Will Smith's character, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's the point?
Why? Then what's the point?
What do you guys think of Signs?
Oh, I love Signs.
I watched.
Yeah, Signs was good.
I like Signs. I like how it was dark and kind of like not too dark, but just like it was like a perfect alien movie.
The whole cheesy thing at the end, where it's just
swing
like away, and there's all this water around. Water's their weakness.
Yeah, and he's breaking all the glasses on hit. Just grab a bucket and throw water on him, and he's breaking all of his like drinking glasses, swinging a baseball.
And the alien's standing there like an idiot, and he sees all this water around, like, oh crap.
Yeah, if someone could only teach M. Night Shyamalan how to end a movie.
Yeah.
Because that guy's got brilliant ideas, and then he gets to the end and he's like,
He's always got to have a weird cameo in the movie, too.
And speaking of M. Night Shyamalan, he should never direct a movie ever again. He ruins franchises. Perfect example, The Last Airbender.
Oh, The Last Airbender.
I thought you were going to say The Village.
No.
I think Darth Finn has an opinion about The Last Airbender.
I
liked it.
I loved that TV show.
Yeah,
the movie was terrible.
Really?
You liked the movie?
You liked it?
I literally fell asleep in the theater.
Okay, I didn't see it, but I thought he was going to say, I wanted to agree with the kid, alright? I thought he was going to say he liked it.
He was a huge fan growing up of the cartoon.
Yeah.
The Airbender, that's with the bald kid,
Yeah.
the crazy
Yeah.
thing. Okay, yeah, I did see that movie.
No,
I did see the movie.
No, I'd never seen the TV series, and I watched the movie.
Oh, dude, do yourself a favor.
And I watched the movie, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, it was kind of a little too dancey, you know, for me. But I was like, you know, the special effects looked good, you know, and what the little kung fu that they did. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, you got a second one coming out. Okay, cool. And then nothing.
Did you ever go back and watch the cartoon?
No, I actually never
Dude,
went.
do yourself a favor.
Yeah,
it's
the
got to
cartoon's
be.
great.
It's got to be free on YouTube. I don't think.
I'm sure it is. I mean, my sister watches The Last Airbender religiously, even the Legend of Korra.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
there were
and,
spin-offs.
You know, the spin-off of that, and we're steel bending or metal bending, and
Right.
Yeah.
there was another type of bending that was introduced with the Legend
But
of Korra
a real good, Japanese lore to it. Like, just, I don't know. What probably wasn't even a Japanese cartoon. I think it was probably American made. But it had a very Japanese feel to it. And the legend, like, they tell you a lot of the legends of the Airbenders story and stuff. Really good cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies that sucked, Dragon Ball.
Never saw it.
Dragon
No,
Ball
never saw
was
it.
horrible. I seen
saw
it.
I was going to ask you if you had actually seen it.
I seen the parts.
Yeah,
of it.
it's.
I couldn't bring myself
Oh,
through
it's
it all.
so absolutely atrocious. It does not really follow anything from the source material.
You got that new Max Steel movie coming out too. That looks pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I think it's already out.
Is it out?
I think
yeah,
so.
I think it is actually.
Didn't it just start off?
It came
as
out
like
the 14th.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks alright.
What's it? I haven't heard about it. What is it again?
Is it like it's cartoon, right? Was it a cartoon?
I think
Yeah,
it was a
it was an
cartoon.
old
Yeah,
Or did it start off
cartoon
with
slash
toys?
comic. I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's and I don't know anything about it, but from what they've said of from the trailer, his dad for some reason genetically alters him to be some sort of a superhero, and he somehow runs into this sentient alien metal
Yeah.
entity that bonds with him to form this metal suit or something. I don't know. It just looks like one of those teen movies where they try to get the teen audience and everything. I'm just like, eh.
Tron was a horrible movie too.
Wait, which one?
I didn't mind.
The first
Yeah,
one.
I
The second
actually-
Tron. The second.
I would say the original,
Not the original, but the second one.
the Tron Legacy
Yeah.
or something. Yeah,
I
haven't
didn't
even seen it.
I didn't mind it actually.
I think. Well, I watched that when I was little. So I can't really make my full opinion on it because I really liked all movies when I was little. So
I liked everything.
I liked everything. I saw Sesame Street. I liked it.
the special effects were great.
Yeah, the effects were good.
yeah.
I was a little bit lost though,
Yeah.
kind of like the
I was
vision
like,
of
wait,
it.
so your dad is this, but he's that, but he's. I don't know.
I heard actually Disney's throwing around making a sequel.
Oh yeah. I heard,
Of course,
I heard
Disney
about that,
is.
Of course.
Disney's like, if there's $1 million to be made.
As soon as Disney starts thinking about buying DC, oh, I just had deja vu.
Let's not go there.
I'm telling you, dude.
But then the thing that I could see about that Disney buying DC is that we would finally be able to get our Avengers versus Justice League movie because they would all be under one roof.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with Ralph. If they finally can stop leaving people out of stories that are important to the story because Disney owns everybody, all right, fine. If you're gonna make a true, like, Old Man Logan, and they're like, well, it's Old Man Logan, but it's not.
Yeah.
But if Disney owned every character, it would be.
See, Disney needs to buy out Fox, buy all their properties, and all the X-Men would be under one roof too. Then they can introduce the X-Men into the Avengers universe.
Right.
Oh, can you imagine the Civil War with the X-Men?
Right, the way it should have been.
Split it all up, though.
Well, not only that, but yeah, and the Infinity War coming up, or whatever the hell they're going to call it now.
That would just be an awesome movie.
You know, have that should be Wolverine's last movie.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah.
You know, he fights valiantly, and then Thanos kills him.
Right.
You know, it'd be his final hurrah.
As long as we're talking about Infinity War, this brings up a subject that I just heard about. Because we're talking about this subject, about important characters that are being left out because of who owns what.
Yeah.
And I actually heard, I can't believe I remembered his name, Tom Holland, the new Spider-Man, made a quote or a statement to Vanity Fair, I think, that he's not even sure if Spider-Man's going to be in Infinity War. And I said, what? And I hope that he's just pandering for an audience.
I think he was, because this one's going to be one of the biggest, not only economically, but cast-wise, one of the biggest movies ever made. Well, I mean, we're talking 65, 70 plus characters in this thing.
65 plus characters. So how can you have 65 characters from the Marvel Universe and not put Spider-Man in it?
One of the most iconic.
And this Spider-Man people so far, I mean, we've only seen 10, 15 minutes of him in the Civil War, but this Spider-Man people seem to be on board with.
Spider-Man is a weird character to cast, because you don't know if he's... I mean, there's a big age difference, obviously, between a freshman in high school to a senior in high school, even to a junior in high school.
Right.
You know, you don't know, and in the cartoons I've seen, he always seemed more grown up and stuff. But then you get the Tobey Maguire movie. I was like...
But do you know why he seemed grown up when you were watching the cartoons?
Why?
Because you were a kid.
Yeah, but... Even
No, dude, this is a theory, man. This is, like, true. It's so true. Like, when you're a kid,
I was in high
a
school
20-year-old is, like, old and ancient.
No, other way. Yep, that's right. No, other way. And then...
Yeah, we're still going.
We're still going. But so I'm just saying, my mother had me at a very young age, and
Tobey
I remember
Maguire. I seen it in high school. Okay, and I would have been like a year or two younger than the Spider-Man, and I was like, no way, no freaking way, this guy is Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man in the comics was a young kid. He evolved, he aged, but the original Spider-Man was, to my knowledge, like a freshman or sophomore in high school.
Right.
And when they introduced Tobey Maguire as the Spider-Man, and you got to remember that was a day and age that we didn't do reboots yet. The guy that was...
Looking back, though, off topic, look at Saved by the Bell. Didn't they all look like they were like grown-ass adults?
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm wondering, because I was young when I watched it too. Was it all in my head? Were they really not that old?
But why did they seem like they looked older? Like, even, I don't know, maybe it's the hairstyles.
Like Zach Morris, when I was watching it, when it was like current, was probably only like 20.
Yeah.
And he was playing a 17-year-old, so that's only like 3 years difference, but I agree with you. I always remember thinking, man, I don't know why they didn't get like a real high schooler to play this part.
But did he, though? Because he started off really young. Remember, it was him and Screech. And they started really young. That's when they were in Indiana. And then somehow they moved it to California.
I don't remember the Indiana days, but
Season 1, they were in Indiana.
Were they?
I think so. And it was so freaking boring that they...
But we need to be careful about getting into Saved by the Bell, because I have a plethora of knowledge about Saved by the Bell that's itching to get out, and we will definitely lose the superhero topic.
All I know is that I wish Kelly Kapowski was in my class.
As did everyone that saw Kelly Kapowski.
We could even had Jesse Spano. But the mom jeans had to go.
Mom jeans are back in style.
I noticed that,
Yuck.
dude. I'm at lunch and I'm watching people coming in and stuff, and there's mom jeans, and I'm like...
If there are any ladies listening to this podcast, you don't have to follow every trend.
No.
Not every trend is a good one.
And if there's any guys out there, wear guy pants.
Yes,
You don't have to wear skin-tight jeans.
Don't borrow your girlfriend's jeans. It's not a cool look.
Eat a cheeseburger. It ain't gonna kill you. Alright? Hipsters are not cool. I'm just saying. They're not.
You know what I mean, right?
You don't have to keep wearing your beanie in 90-degree weather and growing a beard out and drinking off-the-wall beer. Because it's the new thing. And not everything sounds better on vinyl. Just saying.
Alright, so topics you guys want to talk about? I know that I already brought up to you guys that I wanted to talk about something Star Wars related, but we covered a lot of Star Wars last podcast, so anything else not Star Wars related that we'd like to touch upon at the moment? We were talking about maybe doing top 5 favorite movies.
Yeah.
I'll give Darth Finn a moment to let that soak in. He likes everything. Besides The Last Airbender.
Yeah. You say Last Airbender, that wall, you're going through that wall.
But I guess we were talking about doing top 5 favorite movies, which, man, that's tough.
Yeah, it is. Dude, I had to throw 2 bonuses in there just
All right, if you got a list,
I got a list.
All right, let's hear a list.
I had Ghostbusters.
How did I not know that?
Obviously, Ghostbusters.
Are you going? Is there a 1 through 5, 5 through 1, or these are just your top 5?
My number 1 down to my number 5.
Okay,
so this is my number 1.
Number 1, Ghostbusters.
The original. The originals. Not Melissa McCarthy's ass or whatever. Back to the Future. Obviously.
The original? Or
yeah.
The first one?
First one.
All right.
First one, maybe second one, whatever, doesn't matter. 89 Batman.
The Michael Keaton.
Return of the Jedi.
All right.
And The Last Crusade.
Ooh, pretty good.
2 bonuses for my manly side. Rocky IV and Goodfellas.
Right on.
Everybody's right. No!
Rocky IV. Gotta go Rocky IV.
My list would be pretty similar. Those are all good picks, by the way. Nate, did you prepare a list? I didn't prepare a list.
Yeah, see, I didn't even prepare a list either.
So I'm not gonna go. I'm not capable of just like listing top 5.
It was hard, dude.
But I'll throw out there a few of my favorites for sure. While Nate's sitting there thinking about it.
Yeah.
1989 Batman. That movie still gives me chills.
Yeah,
Still, it created. I read comic books, but until that movie came out, the idea and Superman existed before that. But for some reason, I'm a Batman fan like Ralph, and Superman is definitely a distant second for me.
Yeah.
To me, those original Christopher Reeve Superman movies were good, but they weren't.
They were good for the time.
Yeah, they weren't really fanboy movies.
Now, if you had the same storylines and plot and everything, now it would fly.
It would fly. I think you're right. But there was I remember vividly the trailer, and I said the last podcast we did, the best Star Wars trailer I ever saw was the last Rogue One trailer. But maybe the best trailer I've ever seen, period, 1989 Batman. Do you remember it, Ralph? You were pretty young, probably.
I would have been like 4.
Okay.
So
The trailer was genius, and leave it to Tim Burton, who turned the world upside down there for a while.
Right.
The trailer was Batman. The trailer was Batman. The scene where he's fighting one of the Joker's henchmen, the black guy. Well, the anonymous black guy,
Right.
Who had like machetes, and it's the scene in the alley with him and Vicky Vale.
Oh, yeah.
Vicky Vale was awesome, dude. I'm just saying.
And she was really awesome back in the day. But the whole trailer was Batman and that dude coming at Batman, swinging his machetes. There was no speaking, and Batman just lifts up his leg and boots the guy right in the face. And then the bat symbol showed up on screen, and it didn't say Batman. I remember thinking, it doesn't even have a title. The movie doesn't even have a title.
You just have to see that and you know.
I was blown away by that trailer. I said, I am so in on this movie. And I was so in that I tricked my family into watching it 8 times with me. It's still a record at the movie theater. I've never seen a movie more at the theater. I went with almost everyone in my immediate family. I had them take me individually, and I played dumb like I had seen it. Like, oh, hey, we should go see that Batman movie. And I don't feel guilty about it at all.
Right.
That's probably for sure my number one. You got a number one?
Number one, I mean, that's... I don't really know what I would actually put as my number one. I mean, just to name a movie off the bat that
falls into the top 5 somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. It would have to be the first Iron Man.
Oh, excellent.
Because that was the birth.
Wow, I didn't even think about
this of this Marvel juggernaut in the
Yeah.
cinematic universe.
Yeah, and honestly, man, I don't know if it was just because we had never tasted the deliciousness of what Marvel was about to give us, but that might be, in my humble opinion, the best Marvel movie. It was fantastic in every way. His name escapes me, but I love the guy that played the villain. He's a great actor. He was the dude.
Obadiah Stane?
Yes.
The character's name?
Yeah, the actor, the dude, Lebowski. I can't think of the guy's name. But he's a great actor. Jeff
Bridges?
Jeff Bridges, I think it is.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Right down to Pepper Potts. Man, I loved Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts. Casting was perfect.
Now, your question, which was the better roadie? The guy from the first one or the one now, Don Cheadle?
I really like Don Cheadle. And so maybe I'm biased. Because the other guy was good too. I can't say.
I'm trying to think of the actors. Terrence something.
Yeah, I can picture his face.
Yeah, he's on Empire, and
yes, he is. He's the main man on Empire, the TV show Empire.
Empire. Oh, that guy's sick though, dude.
Yeah. I'm talking about Iron Man, original Iron Man.
He was the original War Machine.
Yeah, we were just
right. And I asked, who do you think was the better roadie? If it was the guy from the first one or Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle. Remember Don Cheadle from last year? Were you there?
yeah. But it wasn't Don Cheadle.
It was Tim Meadows. He's following him around the store calling him Don Cheadle.
So funny story since Don Cheadle came up. Where Nate and Ralph and I work at a travel center
of Afghanistan.
Tim Meadows came in just to buy gas and a few things one day, and at the time our assistant general manager was like, "Oh my God, it's Don Cheadle! It's Don Cheadle!" And so no one knowing who he was, he walked up to him and he's like, "Oh man, I love your work. I love what you do." And he's like, "Thanks." And he's like, "I loved you in Iron Man." I don't remember what Tim Meadows. He was not happy about it.
It was not even. He's like, "Dude, I'm not Don Cheadle," and he goes, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm Tim Meadows," and then he walked away. He didn't even say another word. He just walked away, and then
priceless.
But no, Don Cheadle, I think he's all right.
Terrence Howard was the first one.
Terrence Howard. I think he did all right. You know, he's done a lot of good movies. I think one of his better performances was what's that movie that he did when he was coaching the swim team?
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, he was coaching an all-black swim team. I think he did really good in that. I like his serious roles, but he also did good in what was that movie he played in? Didn't he play in Four Brothers?
I don't know.
Was he in Four Brothers?
I don't know if I ever saw that.
I think that might have been, because I think it was three white guys and the black guy.
No, not as one of the brothers, but as
oh
yeah,
he might have actually.
I don't know if he had like a big role or a small role. But no, anyway, I think Don Cheadle did really good, though.
Yeah,
Don Cheadle.
I like Don Cheadle.
Caught me by surprise, though, when they first introduced him as, like, Rhodey. I was like, that ain't...
Right.
What
we might have to talk, and we will, I think, in future episodes, about favorite Marvel movies. Because I was just saying to Nate that might have been my favorite.
Yeah, he
Marvel
was in
movie.
Four Brothers.
Wasn't he in Four Brothers?
Yeah.
I thought he was.
So, we're going to wrap this up here in a minute, but I just wanted to say, of course, Star Wars, all of those movies, the original trilogy, ranks in my top 10, top 5, top 10. I would probably say number 2 for me was Return of the Jedi, partly because the experience of going out, I was old enough to experience that in the theaters. That was my first Star Wars in the theaters. It blew me away. I just had a day out with my mom, and it was such a great day in my life. I definitely love Back to the Future also. Mm-hmm. And the first 3 Indiana Jones movies were awesome.
Yeah. Gotta go Indy.
Gosh, so many good movies, though. Dark Knight's got to rank somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Top 10.
Yeah, it's gotta...
Somewhere in the top 10.
Then we got Godfather Part 2.
Godfather 1 and 2.
See, I think it just
Goodfellas.
Depends. Yeah.
He just watched Goodfellas a couple months ago. Fantastic, right?
I love the...
Yeah.
What do you think of the opening scene? Like the first 10 minutes of it when they got him in the trunk of the car. And he's still alive.
I think there's a lot of great scenes in that movie. One of my favorites is Joe Pesci. Oh, I'm funny to you like a clown. I make you laugh. You laugh.
The mailman scene when they kept delivering the letters that the kid wasn't going to school, and then took the mailman and they stuck his head in the stove.
Yeah,
dude, that is priceless. I love stuff like that.
So one quick topic, and then we got to end this podcast. What I was going to say earlier, what I did say earlier about Star Wars, we were talking about Rogue One. There's been talk about crawl or no crawl. Is there going to be a crawl? Disney has not clarified for certain. So we're going to throw the question out there. How do you feel about that? Do you think there needs to be a crawl in Rogue One and every other subsequent Star Wars movie? Do you think there's going to be a crawl? Do you want there to be a crawl? We'll start with Wrecking Ralph.
No.
No,
I don't.
You don't want it, or you don't?
I don't think there will be. There should be, but I don't think there will be for these standalone movies. I mean, I'm so used to seeing Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, bam, in the crawl, or Star Wars in the crawl, and it tells you what's going on. Right. But with Rogue One, let us figure out what's going on before getting into straight detail and everything. You know what I mean? Because if they do a standalone with Han Solo, what are they going to do? They're going to tell half the story of Han Solo's
right.
I think they should just keep the crawl for episodes. My opinion.
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think there's going to be a crawl in any of the standalones. And at first, I was like, hell no, that's ridiculously insane. The more I think about it, I get why they're not going to do it, to separate these movies from the episodic ones. But I got to be honest, man, that is a very big part of the experience of a Star Wars film. You go into that theater collectively, as a group, whoever you're sitting with, everyone is waiting for the space space screen and the blue lettering, and we know once the movie starts, the crawl.
Yeah.
And you get pumped, you get psyched, and I think it will be missed.
Yeah.
I do. I don't think they're going to do it. I'm almost positive. But that's the sort of thing that if it's a darn good movie, you'll get over it in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But
you gotta
also think, though, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's not a Star Wars movie, but it's definitely way different than any other Star Wars movie we've seen. Sure. Because, the heroes, first of all, in every Star Wars movie, there's been a clear-cut hero, But this new hero, I forget her name at the time.
Princess Leia.
It's not Princess Leia.
Jyn Erso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not really the kind of hero, that you would expect in a Star Wars movie.
She's an anti-hero in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right.
Nate.
I think that they're going to do a different take on the crawl.
Do you think it'd be
I think they're going to do something different. Like I could picture them going, once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away, and then maybe you get.
They never said once upon a time. But it's
a long time ago in a galaxy.
I got you though. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry.
We're nerds. We gotta clarify.
Gotta clarify, Nate. I'm sorry.
But it tells you how long I've actually seen all the originals. But I could see like maybe they'll have Star Wars, either Star Wars or they'll like fade into like Rogue One, and then maybe. Then that'll fade away, and then maybe somebody will start talking in the background.
All I gotta say,
like a narrative explanation.
That would be cool.
Explanation, and then maybe as they're talking, it pans down to like a planet, like kind of like what they usually do. They'll pan down to something.
I gotta say this: it better start in space.
Yeah,
like that's almost when I think about it, like that's almost a bigger issue for me than the crawl. If they start off on a planet, I'm going to be like, wait a minute.
I think it's going to start off like that, but it's going to end with Jyn Erso wearing Princess Leia's white gown and the bun ears, talking to R2-D2 saying, "You're my only hope." And that's a start.
Ralph's only kidding, actually. He knows.
Oh, yeah.
He knows that Jyn Erso is not.
Yeah, I broke into the Skywalker Ranch.
So, all right, should we wrap it up, fellas? Let's wrap it up.
I think we can get
Until next year.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Very good.
Next week, we'll hopefully have a little more direction, but you never know because we seem to be quite directionless. But that's been the Nerd Eye Council. Thanks for listening. Leave a comment, and if there's a like button, like it.
And share, spread the word. Get us out there if you like it. Share on your Facebook page, on your Twitter, do whatever you have to. Get us out there.
Nate has taken to posting the podcast on Facebook, so you can find us on Facebook. Just look up Nerd Eye Council. It is Nerd -I No, we changed it.
Yes.
Nerd -I Council.
Correct.
And you can find us on Facebook, and we're going to be eventually we're going to put this on YouTube too. All right, guys. Till next time.
Till next time.